go to all the different kinds of McDonald's and all the different kinds of Olive Gardens. So now we got 1/3 of the restaurants who need to cater to the other 2/3 in order to stay in business. Well, there aren't enough people to do that. Somebody's going to lose. And it happens every day a restaurant goes out of business for whatever reason. And it's usually because there aren't enough customers to cover their nut. So, that's the way it works. That's the free market. But now you have to ask yourself this. If you have less money in your pocket, are you going to do the same amount of shopping you did before? So let's say our taxes go up. Middle class taxes go up. Now you're going to get I figured it out. It's going to equate to about where was I had this figured out here on this sheet. It's going to be about a $3,000 a year hit for me. That's a lot of money. For some people, $3,000 is a full month's salary. Gone. Out the window. So what are they going to do? Well, if me, there'll be a few things that I won't be able to shop. Because, personally, myself, I'm not going to cut back on my saving and investing. I need that to retire on. I'm not going to depend on Social Security. But even if I didn't do that, I would still have to cut back because I'm not earning the same amount, so I can't spend the same amount. This is the same thing that's going to happen to all of you. I don't care if you're liberal or not. You're going to have less money in your pocket. For what? So the government can have it? To do what with it? Look, in a lot of these social programs, you know how much money is going back to the people it's supposed to be helping in these social programs? About 28 to 35 cents on the dollar. Hello? Most private nonprofit organizations do way better than that. Our government takes $1 from you. Well, let's say for welfare. They take $1. That welfare recipient is only getting 28 cents of that dollar. Where's the rest of it? Let's round it up. Let's even be generous and say that welfare recipient is getting only 50 cents of the dollar. Where's the other 50 cents going? It's being eaten up by the government. You got to pay those government salaries, or have you forgotten that? And a lot of those government people are getting what? 6 figures now. They have compensation packages worth $100,000 or more. Look, don't tell me that they're not. What was in Massachusetts? I think there were some 200 state troopers in Massachusetts that earned over $100,000 in 2011. There was even a couple of them that made over $200,000. They're state troopers. And I'm not talking about the leadership. I'm talking about patrol officers. And how they do? Well, they did it by, overtime and things that we call details. Because in Massachusetts and in a lot of New England states, certain road work, a certain security detail has to be provided by a police officer or a state trooper. Can't be private security. Can't be your own security. It's got to be provided. And this is part of the police union stuff. You go to other states and they have traffic control people out there, protecting the construction workers on the road. No cops. Nope. In most of New England, there has got to be a cop with a blue light sitting in his car. I don't know, but I think that police officer might be better off, patrolling places so maybe they can be available for, say another school shooting. I know some people are saying, Rod, that's just not right to say that. Oh, yeah, it is. It's called allocating our resources. Allocating them efficiently. Now, I have said that we need to have somebody in a school, in every school, who is thoroughly trained and fully sane to be fully loaded at all times while school is in session on school, and they need to be on school property. Everybody talks about what they've been talking about lately. What the school principal at Sandy Hook did. Let me tell you, if that little woman was that brave and had that kind of kahunas to stand up to this kid, could you imagine what she could have done if she could have fired back at him? Now, this type of thing has happened far too often in our country for years. And yet all we can do, or all the left can do, is say, well, we need gun control. Well, let me tell you something. The few days after, Saturday, was it Sunday or Saturday, I read an article about another school massacre happening in China. Well, obviously he wasn't using a gun. He was using a knife. Now, can you imagine? It would have been just as gory. You're saying, well, somebody could have stopped him. Well, do you think a bunch of women are going to overpower a man, with a knife? The vulnerability of our schools is made very clear. And it has been made clear over and over again. Yet the only thing that the liberals can come up with, is you need to have tighter gun control. BS on the gun control. We've already got more than 20,000 books across this nation on guns, about guns. Start enforcing those laws. That's what we need to do. We don't enforce the laws we got in the books. Start enforcing those laws. Start using some of that government money instead of paying people, these administrators and government workers, $100,000 or $200,000 a year. How about we spend $40,000 or $50,000 and put an armed guard in every school? You want to raise my property taxes to pay for schools? How about we actually get some value out of it? And while we're doing it, why don't we put somebody in the school that can protect our precious resource called children? I don't get why we don't. Well, I mean, I do, because then, if my plan were actually implemented, and this person, Lanza came and tried to break into the school, and he had a gun, and let's say he got one or two people, but then the person with the gun in the school protecting the kids was activated and put this nut job murderer down. Then there would be no need to call for gun control. There would be no horrific 24/7 coverage of this story. There would be no MSNBC and Fox and CBS and NBC and ABC getting all the information wrong in the first 12 hours. There wouldn't be any of that. Why? Because it'd be somebody who was trained on how to be a safety person, who put the person down. I know you're probably thinking, well, me making him sound like a dog. Well, he is a dog. I'm not giving that kid any credit. I don't even like saying his name. He's a dog. He's a dog that should have been put down by somebody else, not by his own hand. Plain and simple. I don't, well, I don't know what else what else you'd say, but this guy, he's an idiot. He's a dangerous Neanderthal that needed to be put down like a dog. So why aren't we spending our limited resources? Because, tax dollars, they are limited. Our resources here in this country, even in this country, are not unlimited. They are limited. So why aren't we being efficient with the limited resources that we have? We're not. Why are we not somebody on Facebook, they had a picture with a great idea. We have a lot of well-trained, highly trained, sane veterans. War veterans, military veterans. And most of them are not most of them are not wounded mentally or physically. And you know what? A lot of them don't have jobs. How difficult would it be to for a week or so train them on how to protect? They would, because that is what they were trained to do. Protect the innocent, protect the weak, protect this country. Children are the future of this country. How important of a job is it to protect our children? Having these gun laws obviously is not doing it, especially when you don't enforce them. We did have a ban. I hear all these people, nobody needs to have an assault rifle. Well, we already had a ban on them. We still had Columbine. Not to mention, the whole notion of this ban isn't to get rid of a true assault, quote unquote, weapon, but to get rid of guns. Because if anything looks like an assault weapon, because it's just designed that way, then it's an assault weapon. Even if it's just a freaking .22 caliber, a semi-automatic rifle with only a clip, you can only put a clip of 8 or 10 rounds in there. If it's got a wood stock, then it's a hunting rifle. If it's got a metal stock and it's black metal gray, and it looks like something a military person would have on the battlefield. I don't know many military people that's going to go into battle with a .22. Especially a semi-automatic .22 with only 10 rounds. They called that an assault rifle. Why take away something from the vast majority of people who gain them legally, who use them legally, who use them safely? Why take that away from them? Just because there's a few people who can't seem to control themselves. Look, you're always going to have people that are going to be like that. And frankly, folks, there are some out there that say that it's probably a good thing that we still have certain kinds of guns out there, because if not, these nut jobs might get more clever. What do you mean, more clever, Rod? Remember Oklahoma City? They turned ordinary fertilizer into a big bomb. How many people died there? Now, could you imagine if this kid, this nut job, went online, learned how to make a big bomb, and instead of walking into Sandy Hook School with a gun, he delivered a bomb? Do you think we would have lost more than 26 innocent lives? Yeah, I think so. The only thing that is going to stop people like this is not gun control, but is somebody else, a sound, trained, sane American citizen utilizing their Second Amendment right. That is what's going to stop people like this Lanza kid. not a Democrat sitting in a Capitol Hill in one of the 50 states or in Washington, D.C., yelling gun control, let's take guns out of